name's Rasmus, and today we're going to talk about 5 concepts that I was taught as a puppy like I thought the whole fucking world was, but apparently nobody in the furry fandom has any fucking clue about. And fear not, what I'm about to go over, they might sound like Harry Potter death spells or some shit to you uneducated imbeciles, but they're actually tools that will help you survive in this world, especially when you're dealing with people like, me. So, yeah, let's crack on with this, fucking community service, I guess I'm doing today. First off, we're going to talk about irony, because it is pretty damn important. It will help you understand the other concepts, and I felt like being kind and not making this too difficult. So, what exactly is irony? Well, basically, now that I think about it, I'm not actually entirely sure what the definition of irony would be. There you go, did you detect it? You see, that in itself was irony. In fact, maybe to help you understand, this song from Alanis Morissette could give you some insight.
No, that song is fucking bullshit. Literally nothing about it is ironic.
What do you mean? What about rain on your wedding day? That's fucking ironic, right?
That's not ironic, that's just fucking irritating, and I'm not gonna let you steal Ed Burns' material for God's sake.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw you watching his stand-up last night.
Right, definition of irony. It's a state of affairs that is deliberately contrary to what you would expect. Usually for humorous effect, but often painfully not deliberate. So what does that actually mean? Well, why don't I help with an example, huh? Seriously, put your answers below and then we'll do the video later on.
No, we're doing it now, dickhead.
Oh, apparently we're doing it now. Oh shit, okay. So examples, right. Okay, first off, example of irony. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Oh, fuck off, Palpatine.
Oh, just fuck off and let me do this my way, for God's sake. They only understand through memes. Here's some simple ones for you then. Being run over by an ambulance, for instance. Buying a gun for protection, getting mugged, and the mugger using that gun to shoot you. Posting a comment on Twitter to rebuke somebody and argue, but you actually end up proving their point. That's fucking ironic. Did you see? The core concept is deliberately opposing what you would expect. You did it for one thing, but it ended up doing the opposite. You bought a gun for protection, you got shot by it. You tried to shoot someone down, you proved their point. You always prove my points, you stupid bastards. I love it. So how can this be used and quite useful in real life? Well, knowing when someone is being ironic means that your arguments can be more valid. Cough, me. But the most important case is actually recognizing when someone is being deliberately ironic for humorous effect, because that can stop you getting butthurt over something that was actually meant to make you laugh. Hint, hint. I think that last point there is the real take-home for this whole entire message of irony here, okay? Oh, and finally, before we go, another definition of irony would be trying to set out and explain what irony means, but not actually doing a good job of that, and people get more confused, which I have a feeling is what's going to fucking happen. Up next, of course, we have sarcasm. Ah, yes, sarcasm, my old trustworthy friend. Often regarded as the lowest form of wit, but usually by people who just can't quite understand how to use it properly, because it's actually pretty fucking good. So what is sarcasm? Well, it's an ironic or satirical remark. Don't worry, we'll cover satire next. That sounds like it's meant to praise somebody, but it's actually the opposite, a cutting remark. Probably the easiest way of putting it. It's masking your true meaning through clever language, which is why, obviously, clever shitlords like myself love this. So, shall we do some examples? Well, first off, if you've ever seen any of my videos, you are either well-versed in sarcasm, or more likely you're some triggered, butthurt, basic fur bitch who just can't take a fucking joke and is in dire need of this instructional, informational video. So first, let's go over some sarcastic comments. You know, your series of fursuit live streams really show a true dedication to script writing and, you know, really thinking through that cinematic approach to making your content. That higher subscriber count of yours is truly a mark of what a great person you are, how truly perfect you are in this community, and how we should all treat you so much better than anybody else. I'm so sorry I offended you. I really am. Do you see what I did there? They sound one way, but actually mean another. This one's done quite a bit through the tone of voice. Let me demonstrate exactly how powerful tone of voice can be. Oh, I'm so sorry I offended you. That was not my intent. Seriously, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry I offended you. That was not my intent. Oh, I'm so sorry. See what I mean? Different. Then there are sarcastic comments that can be delivered deadpan and still have the exact same effect. I'm trying to imagine you with a personality. Oh yeah, no, I'm sure your YouTube career is going to look great on a CV. I was going to care about what you had to say, but then I just carried on living my life. See what I mean? This relies less on tone of voice and more on the actual meaning of the words themselves. Both types of sarcasm can be tricky to detect if you are thick or easily triggered. So why is this important to be able to recognise? Well, sarcasm is used quite heavily in humour, and you must be able to recognise the actual intent behind the comments, otherwise you're just going to start a fight on what was meant to be banter. Now I know you fight thirsty bastards love a bit of drama, but so much of it can be avoided if you just keep this key concept in mind. Basically, not everybody is looking to attack you, even if you so desperately deserve it from time to time. Okay, so next up we got satire. This one's a bit more pointed and a little bit harder to explain. Basically, it's the use of sarcasm or irony or humorous exaggerations to point out somebody's stupidity. Simply put, this is using the tools to really nail the point home. Used a lot in political humour, you might also recognise it from my early how-to videos. You know, the ones where I told you to go and act like a fucking douchebag. Hopefully people recognise that they were supposed to be funny and didn't do them deliberately. Judging by some of the shit I've seen on Twitter, I might have had a negative effect on the fandom. But, oh well, you can't really polish a turd, you can't make it any shittier either. So, example, well, I can't really do many examples because I've made my YouTube career already making them, for fuck's sake. So, let's just give you the cliff notes. Making a video on how to act best in the fandom, how to be a nice person, and then teaching people to go and get butthurt over simple comments, start drama anywhere they can, ask for free art, shit like that. That would be satire. That would be sort of taking people's perception that that is an appropriate way to act and taking the piss out of it to point out their stupidity. This one can be much harder to detect, it's less obvious, and can really be delivered deadpan, you know, completely serious to really sell the effect. Often that leads the audience to completely prove the point of the video maker, which I have to say, oh, the furry fandom has done such a great job of proving my points. Like, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm manipulating a social experiment for fuck's sake sometimes. Like, if I can get someone to get triggered by the tiniest little fucking thing, like, you know what? I don't really like orange juice. If I can start a flame war because of that, then I've done my job right. So as it's very important to spot, well, that should be pretty obvious, to be fair. If you are not understanding satire, then you are falling prey to the concept, because you're going to take something serious that has no business being taken seriously. Also, side note, you're going to look an absolute fucking imbecile to anybody who does detect that it is in fact sarcasm. And also, sadly, you will miss out on some decent humour. There's a lot of good shit hiding in satire. So, this time we have hypocrisy, which is less of a humorous device and more of a concept of language, but still pretty important to recognise. Hypocrisy is the practice of claiming to be better than you are, or complaining about something that you are in fact guilty of yourself. Sometimes it's done deliberately for satirical effect. Cough, yes, I mean me, for fuck's sake. Already I'm sure you can imagine a slew of Hippocratic statements. That doesn't sound right. It's not like the Hippocratic Oath, for God's sake. Well, shit, a doctor's lying to us all the time. For instance, furries who make YouTube videos shouldn't suit up on camera because it's so fucking cringy. Pretty easy to detect the falsehood in that one because it's obvious. Oh wait, you do that. That's pretty much what hypocrisy is. If it leaves you with a sense of, hang on, that's exactly what you do. You're probably dealing with a hypocrite. Let's say, for instance, hypothetically, you have a character that acts far more famous and popular than they actually are. And then they take shots at other people for supposedly acting just as famous as they think they are as well. You know, hypothetically speaking, that would be hypocrisy, because they are guilty of it themselves, but also satire, because they're pointing out the flaws of others using this tool. And then hypothetically, if we take it one step further, and the other person this character's attacking brings out the card of, who even is this guy, they're not even that popular, that would then be ironic, because then they would be complaining about this character doing something that they are in fact doing by complaining about it, without even knowing it, without that being the intention. Now, wouldn't that be a hypothetical clusterfuck of hypothetical misunderstandings that hypothetically would have meant that these stupid hypothetical dickheads simply hypothetically misunderstood a sarcastic and satirical hypothetical comment? Hypothetically speaking, right? And if you can't understand why this is important, then fuck yourself right off of my page and back to school, because you are beyond my help, okay? Do one. And finally, we come on to common sense, which is, well, first of all, a misnomer, because it's not all that fucking common in this world. It's a life skill more than it's a device of language. It's not so much that. It's not even really a humorous thing. It's still something the furries have no fucking idea about, though. Common sense is essentially something you have to either be born with or get through life experience. And if there's one thing that furries don't have, apart from social skills, a sense of sexual privacy, and the ability to take a fucking joke, it would be common sense. So how best would we describe it? It's being logical. It's being sensible, I suppose, which are already oxymorons when you pair them with a furry. Oh look, I'm a sensible furry. No fucking such thing. And the way that we call it common sense doesn't exactly show that it's everywhere and that everybody has it. It's more like the basic level of sense. Like, you know, you walk into a shop and you need to carry loads of items. Common sense says, oh, pick up a basket and put loads of shit in that. That is common sense. Common sense is getting to the till and actually having your money ready and thinking, oh, I'm going to have to pay for all this stuff, having a bag ready to put it in. That is common sense. So how will we use this in the furry fandom, for God's sake? Okay, common sense would be, I have a choice between a Popular Fur mersuit and eating this month. I think I'll eat this month. Okay, now that might have confused quite a lot of you. I understand that's not exactly the way that everybody operates, but that's called common sense. And also that's why a lot of you won't have to start your fucking GoFundMe accounts just to live this month, okay? If you can't afford a fursuit, don't buy a fucking fursuit. Common sense would be looking on Twitter, for instance, thinking I'm going to say this post, and then thinking about the context behind it, how it can be taken, how other people might get offended by it, and thinking, okay, actually I might have to rephrase this, or maybe just not post it at all because it's only going to hurt people. That would be common sense. Yes, I get the irony that I'm saying that now. So why is it important? Why the fuck is it not important at the end of the day? You're going to need it to survive in this fucking world, otherwise you're going to be a clueless dickhead that has to hold the hand of everybody who does have common sense. And why is it important in the furry fandom? Oh, Christ, do I really need to answer that? Like, for real. It's important because you might actually be able to spend that money you're working so hard on stuff that really lets you live your life rather than feel like you're living it, okay? Like necessities, like, you know, insurance and bills, and if you're in the US, healthcare. Thanks for the NHS. Broken ankle didn't cost the dickhead a thing. The only thing I can't really teach you is how to gain common sense. It's more like a thought process, a way of thinking that some people are just not capable of. You know, you can't really have common sense if you're some easily triggered Tumblr snowflake, for instance, or Twitter snowflake, as they seem to be taking over these days. And there we go, there's our roundup of 5 concepts that furries clearly have no fucking sense about, and hopefully you do now. Okay, so when you go and watch a video from someone else from now on that you think, oh, they're saying something mean, figure out if they may be being satirical or sarcastic, or maybe, you know, being deliberately mean about something they're not supposed to be might be the point. I mean, Jesus, the fucking comedians you guys like. You see fucking fans of Bo Burnham. He has a song called fucking Kill Yourself, and yet, oh, okay, that's fine, because it's funny, it's humorous. He doesn't actually mean kill yourself. But a furry fucking says the word die, and suddenly, oh my God, you're targeting me! Jesus Christ, people, have a bit of fucking perception for Jesus fucking Christ. I had to say that twice just to get the point across. Jesus fucking Christ. It's coming out 3 fucking times. You make me so exasperated. Also, feel free to copy and paste this anytime. Nobody actually understands sarcasm, irony, satire, hypocrisy, or common sense. You can just use this. Someone post a little comment like, oh, that's not very nice. Right, copy and paste this fucking video. Have that, you cunt. Just learn to fucking think for once. Maybe that should have been number 1. Learn to think. Learn to use your head. Get all the fucking porn out of it and actually think clearly. Ugh, lewd bastards just don't understand anything.